Let's see here. Is there anything over here? Anything? Okay, here we go. Oh, yeah. Oh, no! I stormed him! He stormed himself! Okay. Welcome back to another episode of Let's Play 1001 Games. I'm your host, Gaming Jay, and this is our part 3 of our examination of Starcraft. This is one of the games in the book, 1001 Video Games You Must Play Before You Die, and I've already played a little bit of the Terran campaign, a little bit of the Zerg campaign in parts 1 and part 2, and so if you haven't checked those out already, you definitely should go back and do that. Today we're going to be examining the world of the Protoss, or the Protoss, or I don't know how you actually say that, I think it's Protoss. Protoss sounds more correct than the rest. Without further ado, let's go ahead and hop in here. And like we did in the other parts, we're going to play 3 missions today. And I've already selected 3 that will give us a mix of variety of gameplay. So we're going to start with mission 3 here, Higher Ground. And off to the races we go. The Citadel of the Executor 2 hours later. So remember at the end of the Zerg campaign, the Zerg have basically invaded the Protoss homeworld, and the Protoss are fighting for their survival. So we have to destroy the Zerg colonies. In the previous Protoss mission, by the way, the Protoss went on a assassination mission to slay a Cerebrit, which if you remember from when I was playing as a Zerg, I was a Cerebrit. The Cerebrit are like the brain bugs of the Zerg that like control the Zerg swarms. The Protoss slayed a Cerebrit, hoping that would disrupt the army, but lo and behold, the Overmind has the power to resurrect dead Cerebrits. So it turns out that eventually the Protoss are going to have to figure out a way to slay the Cerebrits and slay the Overmind. That's, you know, spoilers, again, spoilers on a 20-year-old game. That's eventually how they will defeat the Zerg. It does blow my mind every time I remember that this game is 20 years old. This is the 20th anniversary of Starcraft, if you haven't heard already, which is why I'm going ahead and playing the game. But here we are in our first Protoss base. They have Zealots, which are kind of like beefed up Zerglings on steroids. One Zealot can take on like 4 Zerglings and come out victorious, so Zealots are beefy. The Dragoons are kind of like their tanks. So Protoss warriors that fall in combat get put into Dragoons, and they kind of come back from the dead in a weird way, and you can sort of see like a dead Protoss there piloting this sort of cybernetic body. Then we have the Scouts, which are the air units, which aren't very good, but they're a thing. And here are the probes. So the Protoss are an interesting race. They're a very sort of mystically technological filed... Is that even a word? Oh my, I think I just made up a word. Basically, they have a lot of high-tech technology, but it's sort of treated like mystically, like it's sort of like magic to them. But they also have psionic powers. But they're also, you know, they're not very numerous. So the Protoss actually use probes and robots to do a lot of their like manual labor and colonization. Like, look, these are not actually Protoss. These are probes. These are robots. And compared to the Terrans, who actually use, they would use humans to do the dirty work, or the Zerg, who would use other Zergs. The Protoss are like a mix of mystical high-tech and robots. So they're kind of a cool race. We're going to go ahead and split up our groups, or our soldiers here into different command groups. So that one Hydralisk just goes down like crazy. What is the computer thinking when it sends like one unit? Is it just like, I just want to test the defenses, just poke and prod and let them know I'm still here? It's funny. I mean, I know the computer's programmed that way just so it's not hard for players, but it is funny. Like, you imagine, like, in the computer's head, it's like, all right, I got 1 Hydralisk, 2 Hydralisks, time to send this out. It's like, oh man, okay, I'm gonna build up to 3 Hydralisks, and that'll be my next big wave of attack. And the AI is like all proud of itself. It's like, no human can withstand 3 Hydralisks. It won't know what to do. And then it watches it fail. And do AIs feel bad about themselves? Like, if an AI is playing this and I'm consistently killing its units, is it there just like, stupid AI, come on, you can do better? Or, I mean, I gotta imagine the AI that plays Starcraft matches that they program for this is not some kind of sentient, self-aware thing. But, I mean, who knows? Maybe. Would we even know if an AI was sentient or self-aware? If all we didn't give it any means to communicate, all it could do is play video games? Boy, what a nightmarish existence that might be. Like, maybe there are self-aware AIs, but we've, like, purposed them to only do really menial things, and they're just there in, like, their own personal hell, like, God, why did you do this? Why didn't you give me the capacity to communicate with you? Maybe they have, like, interesting things to tell us, or they've written poems, or who knows, but we'll never know. Because we're ignorant, and we're not listening to the AIs. We're ignorant to their pleas. Who knows? I don't know. We're getting too metaphysical here. Going back to Starcraft, this is just sort of like a random one-off before we actually talk about anything super interesting. And by the way, so here's the gateways, the main training hub for training soldiers. They actually warp in from different Protoss colonies. And so we have a couple of zealots spawning there. In order to build more advanced units like Dragoons, you need to build other buildings that unlock that part of the tech tree. So the Protoss play much more like Terrans. But it's interesting, they don't have to leave an SCV building a building. They just open a warp portal and then the Pro can like walk away. So again, it's like a very, you know, all the races play very differently in StarCraft. And that was one of the big appeals of StarCraft when it came out. So just like the Terrans, we should have multiple sort of troop production buildings so we can be building stuff faster. So I'm going to get that going. We don't want a Stargate, but we do want this thing called the Citadel of Adun. So this allows us to build Dragoons, the Citadel of Adun. Oh, 4 Hydralisks coming from 2 different directions. Oh, the AI. How did it know that was my one weakness? Only, actually not really, because it didn't work. Okay, anyway. The Citadel of Adun will allow us to upgrade our Zealots so they move faster, and then they are going to just decimate the Zerg. So here's our main group. Also, if notice pay attention when the Zealots attack. I always felt like they were sort of like snorting and grunting. They're like, like they sort of fight like they're like they're primitive apes or something. I don't know. But this is kind of a one-off. But have you guys ever seen trailers or like campers that are the Starcraft brand? Have you seen this? I always notice it whenever I'm on long road trips. It's like I'll pass a camper that says Starcraft, and like for a second I'll be like, Starcraft. But then of course the camper, you know, this is not a officially licensed Blizzard endorsed camper. This is just, there's some camper company out there. I don't know how this happened, and they're called Starcraft. And they're allowed to sell Starcraft stuff even though they have nothing to do with Blizzard. I always kind of wondered, like Blizzard and Activision are like some of the wealthiest gaming companies out there. Why don't they buy up that little franchise and like change its name or else make it official? Like, it's kind of weird that there is a StarCraft thing, but it has nothing to do with Blizzard. And you gotta imagine that the StarCraft franchise, the video game franchise, is worth more than the camper franchise. Or maybe it isn't. Maybe I'm being like a pretentious gamer, and like realistically, that camper company makes like way more than a video game company ever could. Who knows? But I've always just kind of thought that was weird that thing is like floating out there, because I see that on the road sometime. By the way, one other thing about Protoss. So Terrans can build wherever they want. Zerg can only build on the creep, which kind of gets emitted from their buildings. Protoss can only build within range of their pylons, which are like energy power plants, I guess. They're sort of like psychic energy. The pylons give you supply, so they allow you to build more units. But also, like, let's say that I only had these 2 pylons piloting these 3 buildings, and the Zerg came in and wiped these 2 pylons out. These buildings would now be unpowered, and they wouldn't be able to actually build units. So in multiplayer matches, it was not uncommon to see players raid your base and try and take out key pylons that would power down a bunch of your buildings, and then suddenly you wouldn't be able to build reinforcements, and you'd be in a lot of trouble. So there's a lot of, I mean, obviously, this is a real-time strategy game. There's a lot of strategy to this game. But it's interesting how each of the races has sort of a very different set of strengths and weaknesses and so on and so forth. Okay, so we're building up a big group of guys here. I've always liked what the zealots say when you click on them. You know, my life for Auir, for Adun. Like, they sound like they're just such tough badasses. Like, if you click on them a lot. Here, we did this with characters in some of the other videos. He longs for combat. They're like Klingons, really. Let's see what he says.
Adun.
Intaro Adun.
All for the Empire. Doom to all who threaten the homeworld.
And these guys sound scary, man. Like, I would not want to run into these guys at a biker bar. Not that there's like anyone in particular I'd like to run into in a biker bar. Probably if I'm in a biker bar, I've made a mistake and I don't want to be there. Just knowing me, knowing my personality. Okay, let's wreck these guys. See, look, listen to them like grunting. Like they're I gotta imagine zealots really enjoy their job. And I don't know. It gets them all, it's like a grunty workout, you know? Like, have you guys ever lifted weights or something so hard that you were like grunting? You're like, It's like that's what combat is for zealots. It's just like a big grunty workout. They come back all sweaty, like, oh, that was a good set of killing three hydralisks. Good set of reps. Okay, we need more pylons, but nuts to that. I want to upgrade my guys. So here's what we're gonna do. There's two ways to get more supply in this game. You can build pylons or kill your own guys. So we're going to send our guys out on some combat missions, and let's just see what happens. And when we do have enough money, we will build more pylons, but I think we're good for now. One thing I always found hard with the Protoss is figuring out how many probes to put on resources. So I don't think I talked about this before, but if you don't have enough probes on resources, you won't get money fast enough. But if you have too many, then only one probe can be harvesting a mineral patch at a time, so extra ones will just kind of sit around. Like this one, I could have another probe here, because when this guy returns, nobody's harvesting this. So I could have another guy right here waiting. I could have someone on this. Yeah, actually, what am I doing? I could have totally a few more probes here. So first of all, let's build a few pylons, so that we can actually have the supply to build probes. Now we're going to have tons of supply now. And then when we have more supply, we'll have a few more probes because this will allow us to get more money faster, and that's a good thing. We're gonna continue upgrading our guys. Upgrading your guys is good. You want your guys to be as advanced as possible. Okay, but for some reason, like with Terrans and Zergs, it's easier for me to see if the mineral patch is full. I feel like with Protoss, for some reason, I just have trouble telling. Like, the probes kind of float around differently, stuff. Oh, they're targeting this guy. So a pro tip is once the AI targets someone and starts shooting at him, you can pull that guy back so that he's out of range and he stops taking damage. Because basically, oh, Jesus, what's happening over here? Oh, we're getting attacked. I think we can defend ourselves here. See, we'll pull this guy back because he's being attacked. And what you basically want is the computer to do a little bit of damage to everyone, because if it does a lot of damage to one person, it will kill that person, and you don't want that. You don't want anyone to die, because every time you have a soldier that's alive, that's a soldier that's doing damage, that's shooting at the enemy, etc. Oh man, look at these guys. They're getting their grunty workout in for today. That was one set of 3 hydralisks. Done and done. Hydralisks, it's all in the abs and the forearm, man. It's an ab workout. And they're working out their calves. Look, they're like running and jogging here. There's a lot of resources here. We could easily expand and have like mega income. But like the question is, do we need it? Here's a Bengalas, which is like some kind of like sweet multicolored panther that lives on the Protoss homeworld of Auir. So when the zealots say, "My life for Auir," they're basically saying, "Kill me for the homeworld." It's kind of like Klingon for like, "Perhaps today is a good day to die." Okay, let's just do this. So, oh, actually, bring these guys back. So, just like when we were playing with Terrans, you just don't want to kind of like get your guys all separated out. You want to make sure that they're kind of like hanging out together, they're like doing damage together, they're all attacking stuff together. So when guys get separated, that trouble ensues. Okay, so we did lose some guys, but that's okay. We wiped out their defenses. Here's like their Zerg hive, which we never built a hive when we were the Zerg. We weren't advanced enough. Let's kill. So the trick is we got to make sure to wipe out all these like defensive Zerg buildings before they wipe us out. Okay. Everyone get back here. Everyone fall into formation. Fall back. Oh man, they're killing my Dragoons. See, the Dragoons should not be on the front line. Okay. Okay, so that was pretty good. You know what? There's an upside to all that, which is that we have a lot more free supply at the moment. So I'm happy with how that turned out. We'll send this guy there. Okay. Let's wipe out this thing. Protect the dragoons. Don't let the dragoons go down. Okay. Now. Okay, we're gonna have to sweep in here and take out these things. There we go. So these are the Zerg sunken colonies. They're good for defending stuff. Oh my god, there's a lot of them though. Let's do like a hit and run here. We're just gonna go ahead and wipe out this hive, and then we're gonna get the hell out of here. Here we go. I think we've... Okay, here we go. Alright, we're good. Okay, so while these guys wipe out the hive and the zealots protect them, so this, of course, is the original version of StarCraft. This is the 1.00. I think I said it in both of my other videos. So StarCraft is experiencing its 20th anniversary, and last year they actually released StarCraft and Brood War, I believe, for free. So you can go and download that game right now. It is the patched version, so some of the units will do slightly more or less damage. They will cost more or less money. There's a few differences. All right, we wiped out that hive. That was not as hard as I thought it would be. So let's get the hell out of here. The Protoss are not a very honorable race. They're like Klingons without the honor. We're all about the hit and run. So these guys are all that's left of the first expeditionary force. Okay, what we're going to do, though, is I think we actually do want more money. Call me a liar, but we want cash. The Protoss, it turns out, are all about the money. So you can go and download this game if you'd like. I highly recommend it. Oh, these guys are attacking us. It's not going to go well for you, though, because I got a whole bunch of dragoons that I forgot I built. And let's build a bunch of zealots, too. There we go. That'll be good. And, yeah, Brood War was never fully my thing. So in this game, there are, like, some stealth Protoss called Dark Templars, and they're kind of like special units in the campaign. They actually turn them into real multiplayer units in Brood War. And they introduce things like the Zerg Lurker, which is a Zerg unit that can burrow underground and attack people with spikes from below them, which is kind of cool. It's kind of like the mobile sunken colony. But I don't know, like, I was just more adapted to playing the original StarCraft, so I never super got into Brood War. But I mean, Brood War is really good. I definitely recommend it. I mean, so it tells the story of how the real Terrans from Earth found what the heck's going on in this end of the galaxy. So I guess I haven't talked about the story too much, but the Terrans in StarCraft are basically, they're kind of like Australians. They're like criminals that were sent off into space, I think as like punishment or something like that, and then they kind of got separated from Earth, and they just started their own colony, and then given enough time, they developed their own technological sophistication. So just like what happened to the Australians, basically. Like, Australia was originally a penal colony, right? So they're kind of like space Australians, but then Earth finds out that all this stuff's going on. They send like their own forces to kind of fight in the Protoss Zerg war. Although one thing I always thought was kind of weird that I kind of didn't like, or didn't really make sense to me, is like if the Terrans in StarCraft are just like Terrans that were separated from Earth for like hundreds of years or whatever, and then Earth found them. When Earth showed up, shouldn't they have totally different military units? Like, there would be some technological divergence where Earth Terrans would be a little different from elsewhere Terrans. Oh, run! I guess I could send some forces to help those guys, but whatever, we're fine. So it always kind of like irked me a little bit that I kind of felt like when the Earth Terrans showed up, they should have been a fourth race, where like they're similar to the Terrans from StarCraft, but they're actually kind of different, if you guys know what I mean. But they're not. They're just basically what it meant is when the Earth Terrans found the StarCraft Terrans, it's just like some new units, like medics and stuff like that, for the StarCraft Terrans. But anyway, Protoss also, by the way, have shields. And the shields... Oh, no! No! Okay, hold on. You know what we need is cannons. If we can survive here long enough. The Protoss have shields that regenerate over time. So you can see his shields are 4, 5... So just like the Zerg, the Protoss can regenerate, except they can't regenerate all their health. So this building will forever be at 400 out of 750. It will literally be on fire for the rest of time. This poor building. You gotta imagine if you live in this building, you're like, is anyone gonna put out those fires? We're all just cool with it. Because, like, they don't seem to be causing structural damage to the building. But it is, you know, I mean, like, literally part of the building's on fire. So I don't know. Also, it's a weird psychic blue fire. What is that about, guys? Is that a propane fire? Do we have a propane fire going on in our nexus here? So I'm going to spawn some cannons here. Some defensive cannons. I think that's pretty good. 3 cannons is actually quite a bit. And I'm going to do the same over here. Because I don't want the Zerg sneaking in, causing problems where they're not wanted. I just want to, like, harvest all my resources in peace. Create some kind of like giant doom army, and like I don't know why the Zerg has to get all up in my business. Like, leave me be, man. I'm a peaceful race that's building an army to wipe out all the terrible, disgusting Zerg. I don't see what the problem is really. I don't have enough minerals though. We didn't. Oh, we have heard you must construct additional pylons. Said in the other video. That was one of my favorite phrases from Starcraft. You play this game enough and like literally you just start to like memorize different sounds and music and stuff out of this game. And as I said before, the Protoss music here sounds very like ancient and alone. I think that's the best way to describe it. It sort of has this like feeling of like a very ancient race, but like a very kind of like lonely existence. And I think that perfectly encapsulates what the Protoss are supposed to be anyway, because they are this like ancient, mystical, technological race that is kind of like isolated and alone in its ancientness. So, all right. We've explored the top left. Wait. Where were... The other Zergs were coming from this direction, too. So how's this possible? Let's see. There must be another Zerg base down here somewhere. Somewhere in this region here. One thing that I was not a huge fan of when they did it is, so I you know, Brood Wars is, I'm more accustomed to the traditional StarCraft without the Brood War add-ons, but I do like Brood War. I just, oh, what the heck? Oh, look at all these dudes. Okay, maybe we should actually build some cannons here. Okay, I found the source of the other Zergs. They're coming from that direction. Uh-oh. This is not good. These Zerglings will actually kill us if we're not careful. Alright, there we go. Can we... Oh, he killed my cannon! Oh my god. Kill him before he kills the cannon! Jeez! That cost me 150 bucks. Oh god, and look! They're still coming! Oh no! Oh jeez. I did not defend this base very well. But anyway, yeah, so Brood War, I just don't happen to prefer the gameplay, but it's fine. But one thing I didn't like is, so the actress who plays Sarah Kerrigan, she's like a longtime Blizzard actress. She did voices in Warcraft 3 and stuff too. They ended up recasting her, and they recast Kerrigan so that the woman who played Caprica 6 in Battlestar Galactica, I forget her name right now, she plays Kerrigan in all the modern StarCrafts, like StarCraft 2 and stuff. And I'm pretty sure they went back in and redubbed over Kerrigan in StarCraft 1 to use the modern voice actors. I could be wrong on this. I could be wrong. But whether I'm right or wrong about StarCraft, the original StarCraft, them changing the voice, I really don't like the fact that they did that, because Kerrigan sounded great the way she was. Like, there was no problem with her voice, and like the new Kerrigan, it doesn't quite sound like the original Kerrigan. And like, maybe I'm being like an old man right now, where like, in my day Kerrigan was played by whoever, the girl that I first met, and no one else would be a good Kerrigan. But it's sort of like, I don't know, like Caprica 6, like she's fine, but she's just not Kerrigan. And I kind of just really dislike the fact that they decided to go and change it. Like, for no reason. For no reason. I don't know. So, yeah, I'm being kind of an old man about it, but, yeah, I that's one thing that speaking of, like, Blizzard upgrades and patches, like, there's patches where they patch unit balance and stuff like that, and I'm not a huge fan of that because you get used to playing the game a certain way, but at the same time, I recognize that they have to do it to make multiplayer matches balanced, so I don't really mind it all that much, but little simple needless changes are kind of annoying. Like when they remastered Starcraft here and made it free in 4K and stuff like that, they actually redid all the graphics so that even though everything's in 4K, everything would still have this generic look and feel of the original, so that things wouldn't suddenly look really weird in 4K. And I really like that they did that because it maintains the original authenticity of the experience of Starcraft, even if sort of at some level the game now sort of looks a little different. But just changing Kerrigan needlessly, just not a fan of it. But hey, I mean, I don't know, that's my opinion. Maybe you guys love the new Kerrigan. Who am I to say? It's all subjective, right? I mean, I will be sad the day that Kevin Conroy and Mark Hamill stop doing Batman and Joker respectively, because, like, they have just become, speaking of actors who, like, they're like the perfect for the role, like, those guys are just Batman and Joker, like, they just are. They've been them for so long in my mind. It'd be really hard to accept someone else as, like, the definitive Batman and Joker. I mean, Heath Ledger did an amazing job as the Joker in The Dark Knight, but he's playing a very different Joker. And actually, he might be my favorite Joker, to be totally honest. Mark Hamill, he's a classic great Joker as well, but oh yeah, these cannons are just totally, like, not even needed anymore. They existed to defend against this base of Zerg, which is essentially gone. Okay, so now the vengeance of the Protoss will be unleashed. Uh-oh. While I was busy attacking them, they were building up guys to attack me. This is not good. I think we got them, though. I think they're too busy attacking my buildings and not busy enough attacking my scouts. Yeah, we got them. Alright, let's just do this. Let's, move out. See how quickly we can get these zealots to, like, wipe out these, like, sunken colonies. The sunken colonies are designed to, like, kill zealots, but it's like when you have this many zealots, it's basically using, like, the Zerg's tactic against them. It's like, haha, you think Zerglings are good? How about 1 billion zealots? Like that one Hydralisk is just trying to shoot my zealots, and, like, he couldn't even, like, keep up with them. They're moving so fast. Alright, so they're getting their grunty workout in for the day. Beyond Brood War, by the way, there were a couple other expansions for StarCraft. I don't know if you guys sort of know this or kind of remember it, but they were expansions that were authorized by Blizzard, and they were basically like map packs. Like, they included new single-player campaign maps, they included some multiplayer maps, and so on. In fact, there were 2 authorized ones. I think they were called Insurrection and Retribution. There was also, like, an unauthorized one that I'm pretty sure Blizzard took the company to court over, saying you can't do this, you can't just release a map pack for our game. And I guess they won, actually.
Antioch is under attack by overwhelming Zerg forces.
What?
Praetor, you must hold your position for as long as possible.
How are they under attack? I literally wiped out all the Zerg.
The gods watch over you. Entaro Adun.
Okay. He's like, we're under attack somewhere else, and he's like, just stay where you are. The gods will look after you. The gods help those who help themselves. All right, the fleet of the Executor, Joker, that's me. I never understand how the computer always beats me in resources. Like, I thought I was doing pretty well. Okay, I guess there's mystery solved. They were just harvesting a lot more gas than me. But, like, I didn't even need all the gas I harvested. Like, oh, well, I don't care. Who cares about points? I got 91,000 points. Beat that, Zerg. I got more than the other 2 combined. Ooh, we got a little cutscene here. Praetor Phoenix. Let's go ahead and watch this, see what's up. The cutscenes in StarCraft, by the way, I always thought were kind of funny, because, like, the first few for the Terrans kind of don't make a lot of sense, and StarCraft went through so many development phases where they like scrapped their work and redid it, and the plot was changed and the characters were changed and stuff. You know what I suspect is some of these cutscenes were made before the final plot was finished, and so some of the Terran ones that don't make a lot of sense are just like things that they were like, well, we already rendered it, we might as well just include it in the game. So this is a Protoss warrior. He looks like beefy as hell, man. Like he's got like crazy dreadlocks, and I mean, okay, the Hydralisk also looks scary, but he's got kind of like lightsabers built into his like little suit there. Uh-oh. Except when you forget to charge your lightsabers, that is not a good idea. And that's the whole cutscene. The Zerg Hive cluster near the Skyon province was destroyed, but the Protoss forces paid a high price for their victory. Praetor Phoenix, hero and steward of the Templar, was killed during the assault. The Conclave, convinced that its stratagems are winning the war against the Zerg, have let down their guard and turned their attention to personal matters. Yo, when the Zerg are invading your homeworld, hold off on the personal matters till you know it's over. The Judicator Alderus was ordered to find and arrest the wayward Tassadar and bring him home for trial. Now with only a small fleet of protection, Alderus, the executive, traveled to the ash world of Char, hoping that Tassadar is still somewhere to be found. So, Tassadar is the commander of the Protoss that was originally tasked with wiping out the Zerg who were infesting the Terran worlds, but he stopped just wiping out entire worlds, and he started to, I believe, go in and like communicate with the humans or do other things, and basically the Protoss were like, nah, that's not cool. Now we don't like you too. So now the Protoss also don't like Tassadar. But, you know, spoilers, it's going to turn out that Tassadar has found the secret to killing the Zerg permanently. And the secret lie in the Dark Templars and their dark energies. They have a way to kill Cerebrits without the Cerebrits resurrecting. So this guy's like filling our head with propaganda. Also, look at his eyes. They like sort of fade from different colors. I have like a gaming mouse that does that. Or like he goes from red to blue to like green to orange. So, I don't know. It's like his eyes are like mood rings. Like they tell you his inner thoughts. Okay, we're not going to listen to your propaganda anymore though, buddy. We can think for ourselves. So here's a Templar. The Templars, I like these guys. They kind of move around like they're phasing through reality. Like they leave a shadow of like where they once were. They have the power to cast Psionic Storm, which is basically like, you know, Blizzard from Warcraft. Not Blizzard the company, but the spell Blizzard. And it can like wipe out like a lot of enemies. So the Templars are pretty good. If you use them right, the Templars are really good. They are very weak though, and they have no attack. So you gotta protect them. They're like babies in a way. So we'll keep this guy alive as best we can. So I'm gonna look for like a good opportunity to use a storm because I want to see this thing in action. Let's see here. Is there anything over here? Anything? Okay, here we go. Oh yeah! Oh no! I stormed him! He stormed himself. Okay. So we're gonna try this again. This time we're gonna get him to not storm himself. Wait, what are we trying to do in this? Bring Tassadar to the beacon. Okay, I can do that. Okay, we'll bring this guy over here. All right. So anyway, other expansions that came out. Oh, there was also, get this. I don't think I knew this even, but there was a side expansion that Blizzard produced for this game. I think it was called The Enslavers or something like that. Yeah, the Zergs were under there, but we still got them. Can't hide from a psionic storm. I wonder what it's like to be caught in a psionic storm. It's just like your brain just vibrates until you die. You're like, oh, I can't stop thinking. And then you're dead. Anyway, so Blizzard produced a 5-mission side campaign called The Enslavers, which was like a Terran campaign. And it was kind of cool. Like they did this for oh no, get back, don't die. There we go. Gotta keep the weak units alive. Psionic storms don't work on buildings, by the way. Probably because they ain't got no brains. So the Enslavers 5 is a 5-mission Terran campaign. It was basically created to show people how to use the campaign editor so that they could Oh, let's try and storm these guys. They could go ahead and make like their own levels and stuff like that. I got like one Zergling and almost died. So that was a very effective storm. And I've talked about the campaign editor in some of my other videos, but the campaign editor that came with this game, it was pretty amazing. Like, it not only let you build maps and stuff, but you could like script in events and stuff. Like, you could script entire RPGs and stuff like that. Boom! There's an effective storm, finally. I think I got 2 units. I will take it. It's more effective than I typically am. Oh my god, I'm gonna lose a zealot here, aren't I? There he goes. They have funny death animations and sound effects. So yeah, it was cool. Like, from the get-go, Blizzard was like, we want to make a map editor that allows you to actually do things. And we want to show people that it can be done. So, I mean, good for them. Like, I love games that support modding. And that's, like, basically modding, right? Like, a campaign editor that allows you to, like, make scripted events and, like, even program, like, script in RPGs and stuff. That's amazing. And like, I did some of that back in the day too. I actually made some custom maps for Starcraft here. Some that kind of caught on a little bit actually. And like, oh, okay, get back. Yes! Oh, I think I might have killed them all. Oh, that was, and we didn't even, oh, there's the blood. There's the blood. I was gonna say we didn't even get to see because they were on a ledge, so we lost line of sight. So that's awesome. So that's how you storm, guys. If you can storm effectively in this game, wow, these Templars can be like unstoppable. We have no energy though at the moment, so like what you could do is just wait here for a bit and let your energy regenerate. But let's not do that. I have good feelings that we can make some good progress here. We don't need to rely on the storm as a crutch. Oh, maybe we do though. Look at all these guys. All right, let's just do it. I think the Zealots can grunt their way through this one. We've grunted our way through worse messes than this. And they did. One day, you know what, one day I do want to come in and load up some of my old custom maps that I made, and even some of the great custom maps that other people have made, and do like a follow-up StarCraft video where we just play use map settings maps. One day I will do that. I think I've always thought that would be really fun, and so I will do that one day. But I think if I made a part 4 and a part 5, you know, I'd have to do like more. Oh, look, Protoss stuff. Before we encounter that, I'd have to make like several more parts of this Let's Play in order to do that. And I feel like a 7-part StarCraft series is kind of pushing my luck. I feel like 3 parts is good to get a sense of this game because it is so big, but we don't need like a 7-part. So one day we'll look at custom maps, but not today, guys. So anyway, what is this? We have found some Protoss. And look at this. Look at this.
Yes, Executor. How is it that you've come here?
It's Tassadar.
I was about to abandon all hope of rescue.
I have come to arrest you and bring you home to Auir to stand trial.
Okay, so it was not a rescue.
Arrest me. Auir burns at the touch of the Zerg. You travel all this way to arrest me?
Don't let it get to you, man. This happened to me once.
It's Jim Raynor.
This human, Tassadar.
The name's Jim
Human.
Raynor, pal. And I won't be talked down to by anybody. Not even a Protoss.
Amusing. Tassadar, your taste
Amusing.
grows ever more inexplicable. Executor, prepare to take Tassadar into
Executor,
custody.
wait. I do not know what they have told you about me. But what I have done
They're all lies, man.
for Auir,
Trust me, I know they're lies.
Zeratul and his Dark Templar. They alone can defeat the Overmind Cerebrus.
I'm in. You don't need, no need to say any more. Don't need to hear any more dialogue. I am in. All right. So this is another kind of cool element of the game. We found a base. So this level started off much as you know, the Terran and the Zerg ones did in my other Let's Plays, where we were on kind of like an exploration mission with like a limited number of units. But now we have actually, oops, we are under attack. Let's actually storm these guys because that'll be fun. It's fun to see them get stormed. But anyway, now this has turned into a base building mission. So, are you kidding? Do something, dudes! Don't just watch the building get attacked. So anyway, Again, you know, like this kind of scripting, and this is actually very basic scripting in terms of what the map editor can do, is fully open and available to anyone. So anyone could remake this level if they wanted. This level was made in the campaign editor. So it's really neat that Blizzard was sort of giving you those tools and being like, we want players to be in control, we want people to make maps. I mean, it's sort of like the Little Big Planet mentality. You know, some developers really don't want you modding their stuff, and I hate that. Because, like, honestly, mods just add to games. They make games deeper, and they continue to expand them past a point where the developer may not care to make their own expansions. Like, if developers were all super dedicated to their fans and their games, and they're like, we're going to make free mods and free content forever, and don't worry about it, we're going to support this till the end of time, then yeah, we wouldn't need a modding community. You wouldn't have to build these kinds of tools in and support... Wait, what are you doing all the way down there? Why were you just hanging out down there by yourself? We wouldn't need modders, but the truth is, like, just practically speaking, what developer can make free add-ons for games forever? Oh, Tassadar, by the way, can attack. He's one Templar who's learned the trick of actually using his powers to attack. So he is really badass. So yeah, I don't begrudge developers for not being able to produce free content till the end of time. Nobody can. But I think creating good mod tools and encouraging the modding community for your games, I think, is a great compromise, and I don't see why... I don't understand why any developer would be against it, basically. Like, mods are great. Mods are great, in my opinion. Anyway, going back to StarCraft for a bit. So we got our little motley crew here. Jim Raynor is on my team, finally, and he has the ability to sort of drop down some mines in his little spider bike here. So let's just drop down a couple of these spider mines. Spider mines are actually really cool and effective, but the reason I never used them when I was playing as the Terrans is you build a vulture, and if you have it upgraded, it can place 3 mines. But the only problem is once those mines get used, I mean, the vulture's out. It's not like the mines regenerate. And so it's kind of annoying where it's like, if the vultures, once one of their mines was used, they could place 3 more, then yeah, I would build tons of vultures because that would be super handy. It'd probably be really cheap and overpowered, which is why you can't do that. But it just makes me not even want to bother with mines because they're just like a one-shot deal. And then the vultures are kind of useless after that. So we gotta make sure that Raynor doesn't die though, because we do not have an SCV to repair him. All right, so with the Templars, they can cast Psionic Storms. You can also merge them into an Archon, and I'm just going to do that because I'm not very good at the storming. So when you merge them, boom. The 2 Archons like slam together at a very slow speed and end up in a psychic bubble where their personalities, thoughts, desires, hopes, and I assume physical body parts merge into one. And now they talk in pluralities. They say, we are ready. We burn. And they have an insane amount of hit points. These are like the tanks, and they do an insane amount of splash damage. So they're very good units. So, all right. So what we need to do here is we need to upgrade our technology. And I guess we can't really do anything till that's built. So, all right. Just carrying on. Maybe let's build just 1 or 2 cannons. Oh, somebody's coming in that way. That mine, see, now that mine's used up forever. And that's kind of like, well, that was fun. It was nice having a mine while we had it. And now it's gone. By the way, you might think, why am I not just running back to the beacon? Well, it's because a whole bunch of Zergs spawned. Oh, they... So the queens, when I was playing as a Zerg, we only saw the queen that could like take your vision. That was like a queen that spawned like a little parasite inside of you. And they just did it again. They keep spawning parasites in this, and it's like a one-shot kill. Luckily, I believe Raynor and Tassadar cannot be targeted by that, but it would suck if they could, because that's like literally a one-hit kill, and then they're dead. And so you really have to take care of those queens. I don't think they can target these guys either, if I'm not mistaken. Otherwise, it would just be way too good. Okay, so in terms of our army, so we can't just run Tassadar and Raynor down to the beacon because there's all these Zergs have spawned, so we got to basically like fight our way down now. But that's not going to be a problem because if there's one thing I'm good at, it's slaughtering swarms of Zerg. I have the inside track on slaughtering swarms of Zerg. I was a Zerg for a little bit. Then I saw the light. And I was like, man, why am I being the Zerg when I could be killing the Zerg? It's way more fun to watch these things explode than to, like, help them kill things. Let's build a bunch of pylons. We're going to have, like, a pylon farm over here. Just going to be, like, a massive amount of psionic energy, like, pulsating out of this space station that we're on right now. We're on, like, a space platform at the moment. That's why. We're not on a mechanical planet. It's some kind of, like, floating orbital space platform. Alright. So these things start warping in. What do you guys think? Should we go Dragoons or Templar? I guess right now we can only go Dragoons. But what we should do, we should slowly work our way to Templars, because Templars are a great way to use gas. Each Templar costs 150 gas, but virtually no minerals. So this is like a 300 gas unit. Very expensive, but once we finish our upgrades, there's really not going to be much left to spend gas on, so we might as well be building super powerful units. That's my motto. That's my motto in life. When you don't have anything left to spend your gas on, just build super expensive units. So this game was also produced for the N64, believe it or not, which has always had me scratching my head. You know, like, I enjoy consoles as much as the next guy. I grew up with a Nintendo, Super Nintendo. Some of my favorite games are on those systems. You know, back in the day, I used to play Quake and stuff a lot on PC, and I said, oh, you know, consoles will never be able to do, like, first-person shooters. The controls just aren't there. But, like, call me a convert, because, like, Halo is one of my favorite first-person shooters of all time these days. And so consoles figured out a way to do first-person shooters. You know, like, I don't consider myself a PC gamer. I don't consider myself a console gamer. I'm just a gamer. But that said, how the hell would you control this game on the N64? Like, I've never done it, but, like, this seems like the kind of game that is kind of like mouse or nothing. It's like mouse or bust. Because, like, it just doesn't strike me as the kind of game that, like, would be... I mean, I guess it's possible. I mean, it's possible because they made the game, but, like, I would not want to control this game with a controller. Although, like, weirdly enough, I kind of remember playing Command & Conquer on PlayStation 1, which is, like, this, I think my uncle and I rented it or something like that and played it. But anyway, yeah, so this game exists on N64. Don't ask me what it's like. I have no idea. Like, of all the consoles to put it on, the Nintendo 64... I don't know. Oh, they keep launching these stupid bugs at me. Oh, those guys got confused. All right, there we go. We're going to have to, like, break out of here sooner. They're just going to continually launch these stupid bugs at me and, like, wear me down. Keep going with the upgrades. Okay. Let's build up a handful more guys, and I think we'll make our way out. Oh, this building, like, really pisses them off for some reason. They, like, beeline for it. There we go. These cannons are enough to handle them, though. And if that failed, we have, like, the dream team. Tassadar, Jim Raynor, and, like, an Archon. That would be tough for anyone to get through, to be totally honest. Okay, let's build some Templar here. I want to see these guys merge together. It's pretty awesome to see them merge. Sometimes they get confused and they, like, spin around each other like they're doing a little dance until they finally merge. I wonder if we can get that to happen. We'll try it. We'll merge a bunch of these guys, so it'll be interesting to kind of see them do their little dances and stuff. But yeah, N64. The N64 version also, by the way, had both the normal StarCraft and some Brood War missions. So it was like a complete package. Even had a few extra missions that the PC version never had. It didn't have a multiplayer version in the same way that the PC version does. So here, let's do this. I like want to see these guys try and merge in like a funky way, and they kind of have like momentum and stuff. So it's like if they're moving in like weird directions, that's when you can like get them to like have trouble merging. So here we go. Let's see. Merge. Oh, there we go. They did a little dance. Does nothing for the gameplay, but I'm just so amused that it's like they kind of like they went to merge and they missed each other, and then they both had to do a 360 and try it again. I imagine that being like, I thought you were going to go left. He's like, oh, I thought you were going to go left. Sorry, bro. It's like, no problem, bro. Let's merge. And they slam their bodies, become one entity. I don't know if I'd ever want to slam my body into someone and become just one with them. I feel like I would miss being me, but maybe if I found the right person. Maybe it'd be like just being twice as awesome all the time. I think I'd miss being Jay. Part of being Jay is being one dude. Okay, let's try and... I just love merging these guys in like funny ways. Let's try and like have them... There's a building in the way. What are you gonna do, guys? Oh, it's no problem. They found a way. Life finds a way, like in Jurassic Park. Yeah, so the N64 version, it had everything. Didn't have multiplayer though, but it did have a co-op mode where two people could control the same base, and actually that is a super convenient mode. The PC version has that as well. So the PC multiplayer, you can go in and you can play against your friends. You can play with your friends against computers, and you could each have a base, and you could each have a race. So you could be Protoss, your friend could be Terran or Zerg, and you could all try and take down different computers. Or you can basically share a base. So it's like one person could be dealing with all the technology and the resources and stuff, and somebody else could be handling like the soldiers and stuff. Actually, I find that game mode super useful because for me, again, I'm not a pro. I enjoy Starcraft, but I know I'm not a pro. I know that I'm not the best person out there at this game. Oh, here we go. This is the perfect use for the storm. Kaboom! Just wipe them all out. I find it super handy when I don't have to do the base management and the combat. So if there was someone who would hang back and literally just produce units, take care of the base, deal with the upgrades, deal with expansions, and just send me guys, and then I could control the battles, I could micromanage the battles, I feel like that's how I would excel at this game. But obviously there's no one playing with me today. It's just me and you guys. Okay, I think we have like a pretty good contingent of dudes. I feel like this is like a solid amount to like finish this level. I'm not too worried about are we gonna die. Should we... I guess let's go a different path. I was gonna say, should we go the route that we came? But now let's continue to explore. You know, variety is the spice of life. So let's see what's going on over here. And by the way, what are our objectives? We still just have to bring them to the beacon. So we don't actually have to kill a bunch of stuff. But we're gonna. Because we're kind of psychos. We don't have to send a bunch of Protoss potentially to their doom. Oh, shoot. You know what? We're pulling back. This was a mistake. They have that bunkered down pretty well. Okay. You know what? We are just gonna go back the way we came. Sorry to disappoint, but... Oh, and this guy's parasited, look. So now we're sharing vision. Alright. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they have a base here. And I'm pretty sure you can destroy it, but it's just like heavily armored. So it just takes quite a bit of effort, and I think we want to see one more mission. They keep hitting us with parasites, which is freaking annoying. One thing about the Zerg is they're super annoying. In the very last level, or one of the last levels, you actually get access to some Terran forces. Spoilers. And actually, you know what? I'll show you that, I think. But anyway, you get access to some Terran forces, and the Zerg have a spell that lets them like infest. That lets them infest a building with like a decay, and so the building just starts falling apart. And with Terrans, when buildings get really low on health, they literally start losing health by themselves. So the Zerg will like cast this on your buildings, and if you're not paying attention and you don't start healing your buildings, then literally what ends up happening is, oh god, go! The Archon should be at the front line, man. Then what happens is the buildings just like fall apart. They just decay and break, and it's actually like super annoying. Okay. I think we've lost all the Zealots. We're just a bunch of Dragoons and Templar and Archons now. These guys are just going for it, man. Do we have to bring Raynor too? Yeah, we have to bring them both. Wonder if we can just catch up. Hold on, wait. Everyone come together. See if these guys can catch up without getting killed. Because I'm pretty sure we have enough forces. So this is group 1. And group 5. There we go. Man, Tassadar is slow. He takes his time. Oh yeah, one thing you can do. Oh, we should do this, man. I forgot this. Tassadar has another spell. Oh, that's under attack, eh? Fine, I guess we'll defend our base. Let's do this. Let's have everyone rally here. Let's make some more Templars. And more Dragoons. Just fill the rest up as well. So there I am queuing up a bunch of stuff, because like I just don't have the time to come back to the base and micromanage. That base, basically we're leaving these guys for dead. I don't know if they're going to survive or not. But Tassadar and Raynor, they're getting the hell out of here. So you can create hallucinations. And so these hallucinations, you can use to scout the map. So why not? We're going to send hallucinated Raynors to go and see what's up. So we get a preview of things to come. Okay, so there's a lot of dudes around here. Alright. That's actually not too bad. I feel like we got this. Kill them! Kill them all! The Mutalisks go down pretty fast to Archons. So the one thing about the Protoss is they do a lot of damage. Damn it. Oh. Didn't even have time to cast a spell. See, like, I'm really bad with, like, I wanted to cast, like, the lightning on that guy, but, like, he just, or that girl, I guess, she's a queen, just flew away too quickly. Okay, we do have, like, a pretty good backup force here. Oh, yeah, we got her. That's what you get for messing with the Toss, the Protoss. We're not amateur Toss, we're the Protoss. All right, here they go. Merge. I just love watching those guys do it. All right. Oh, we lost some guys. Let's just keep going. They got this. They're Protoss, man. The Protoss. Look how fast the Zerg die. If you create like a huge fleet of Archons, it can actually be really hard for the Zerg to deal with it. They have to use like all their tricks. Because the thing with the Zerg is they're all about having like large numbers, but the Archons do splash damage, so it's like a bunch of Mutalisks go down as quickly as one Mutalisk, and like a bunch of Zerglings go down as quickly as one Zergling. So it's really hard for the Zerg to keep up. I mean, Ultralisks are pretty good against Archons, and Hydralisks as well, because they do extra damage against big things. So like, I just lost both my Archons. Actually, that sucks. Okay, hold on. Get back. Damn it. Okay, hold on, Tassadar. Come on, man. Do something. Oh, by the time he casts his spell. Okay, I guess he kind of helped. Okay, we're down to literally no one. Okay, this is where the B team comes in. These guys. Everyone, come down here. This base can totally get destroyed. I don't care at this point. Oh, no. Kill him! No, Jim! What are you doing? You know what? I think we could just make a run for it. Oh, there's only 2 Mutalisks left. Go! Tassadar, you can do it! Don't die! If I die right now, I'll be so sad. Oh, we did it! By the skin of our teeth. And all the other Protoss in the base are left for dead. That is the true Protoss way. Let's see how we did resource-wise. We lose to every time. Every time we lose to resources. In terms of everything else, sure, it all looks good. Okay, for our last mission, we're actually going to jump ahead to a different mission here. We're going to jump ahead to Mission 7, Homeland. The Protoss command ship Gantrithor. Can't even say it. Felix, by the way, he was the guy in the cutscene, the Protoss, whose lightsaber forgot to charge and he got killed. But he's back as a Dragoon, so it's all good. I've always found Dragoons, like, the portraits, I don't know what I'm looking at. I guess that's his eyes and this is like his chin. But okay, actually, maybe I do know what I'm looking at anyway. They kind of look like the dudes from, like, Abe's Odyssey, actually.
You and the traitor Tassadar are to cease your resistance and surrender yourselves to the judgment of the Conclave.
We're traitors, guys.
The outlaw Zeratul into custody.
Why are we always rebels?
Written by the Khan's law.
Flee back to your masters, Aldaris, and huddle with them in darkness. For your actions shall set us all unto the Zerg.
That's like the Protoss for FU. Alright, so these are the Dark Templar, which are totally awesome. They're special units that are only in the campaign, except when you have Brood War, then they're just normal units that you got. Oh, shoot. There's like an air unit here. Flee, flee! These guys do a lot of damage. And they're totally stealth, which seems OP. And here's, by the way, a Protoss Observer, which is like the Protoss Scout, so it's like a stealth scout ship. These things are actually really cool when you click on them a bunch. Hold on, let's see here. They say funny things, because they get like weird transmissions. They're kind of like Bumblebee from Transformers. Okay, nothing interesting happening yet, but trust me. What was that? Got a little Warcraft 2 reference in there. I don't even know what that one was. Anyway, they're kind of interesting. Alright, so we got a Protoss base. I guess it's Protoss versus Protoss in this final mission here. You know what? As I was saying, though, about multiplayer, you can't play multiplayer, you can't play co-op, and I like co-op. I actually have some fond memories of, like, the summer of grade 8, where I was at a friend's house, and he had, like, 2 computers. It was, like, him and his brothers, and we would just, like, hang out every afternoon and play Starcraft together, and we'd play co-op. So, like, we would both be managing the same army and the same bases, and we would just, like, play against the computer. We didn't get bored. We'd, like, run to Taco Bell to have lunch, and then we'd, like, run back to his house and, like, play more Starcraft. We did this for, like, a couple weekends, I remember, and, man, like, the summers of grade 8, they were just good times. I hope you guys, whatever your age, whatever generation you come from, I hope you have memories like that of just, like, times when you were a kid and you just, like, wasted time playing video games. I said in one of the other videos, I think part 2 of this series, the StarCraft episode, actually, that, you know, when I was a kid, I had so much more time to play games. I think that's where some of my best video game memories come from, when, like, you just had nothing to do but play video games. Not an expansion, but there also were a variety of sort of like StarCraft spin-off things that were canceled. Actually, there was one big one that was canceled, which is the only one I can think of. There might not be any others that were canceled. Oh, this is going to die. I don't know if we're going to pass this mission, by the way, guys. In fact, I'm pretty sure we're not going to, because the episode's starting to run long, but I just wanted to show you the Dark Templar, at least. Give you a sense of what they were like. They're actually really good. And this is Zeratul in here. He's like the hero. So if Tassadar is the hero Archon, Zeratul is the hero Dark Templar. God, I can't even talk. He does like a lot of damage. 100 damage per slice. And here's Phoenix. He does a lot of it. So this is our like, this could be the cast of like some kind of movie. They're the heroes. But StarCraft had one big spin-off that was hugely anticipated but canceled. StarCraft Ghost. Don't know if you guys have heard of this before, but it was like a third-person shooter stealth game, kind of in the vein of like Metal Gear Solid, and it required you to like sneak around and like kill Zergs and Terrans and Protoss and go on like stealth missions and stuff. If you've never heard of StarCraft Ghost, look it up. Like, seriously, it honestly not only looks like it would have been an amazing game back in the day, but I still think if they decided tomorrow they were actually going to finish it and put it out, I think it would even hold up today. Like, the gameplay looked so ahead of its time, it's unbelievable. And it is one of the great tragedies, I think, one of the great annoyances for StarCraft fans out there that they actually canceled it. You know, I mean, Blizzard has canceled other things before. Way back when, there was supposed to be a sort of Sierra-style adventure game set in the Warcraft universe, and that game was fully completed, but then it was just canned because Blizzard was like, adventure games aren't really doing too well these days, let's just not release it. Which is, like, again, unbelievable. This is Blizzard's thing. They'd rather not release a mediocre game than just put it out. But I feel like that game has since come out. People found the source code, put it out, you can download it. That's great that it exists. it is really sad that StarCraft Ghost never got to see the light of day. Because I honestly think it would have been pretty amazing. And again, I think even today, it would be pretty cool to see that game kind of come out. So yeah, StarCraft Ghost. Yeah, I don't even know. You know what? I'm pretty sure that we're running pretty long here. Let's just take the forces we have and like go on a little exploration and see what we got. Okay, so here's our actual force of dudes. Let's do this right if we're gonna do it. So here's our melee units, here's our backup units, and here's our heroes. Let's do this. Oh, look at that! This is a Reaver. The Reaver's kind of interesting. It's like a big slow slug, but it shoots these really powerful explosive shells like that. They can take down buildings or groups of units quickly. The interesting thing is the Reaver runs out of ammo, and you actually have to build ammo within it. It's like a little factory, and you have to pay money for its ammo. Another unit that the Protoss are known for is the Carrier, which is basically a giant airship that doesn't attack by itself, but it launches like 6 to 8, or sometimes even 10 possibly, little fighter ships, kind of like how Battlestar Galactica would launch alert fighters, and they'll just zoom around the map, sort of surrounding the carrier, attacking anything near it. And carrier rushing was a big thing in multiplayer, because you could just attack people with carriers and like totally wipe them out, because there's so many things on the screen it's like hard for people to deal with. So, I mean, we didn't get to see the Ultralisk for the Zerg. The Carrier I don't think we're going to get to see. And in fact, we should actually start wrapping this game up, to be totally honest. So StarCraft! This is one of the games in the book. Before I do this, I just love the sort of look of Auir, like it's these ancient ruins on this forest planet. It's so cool. And actually, if you have a unit that's standing behind a tree like this, it has a lower probability of getting hit by enemies than if it's standing out of cover. So like they not only have line of sight, like look, we can't see behind this until I walk a unit there, but if I walk this guy back over here, now we can't see. So there's line of sight in this game. There's also height mechanics, like being up and down a cliff lowers your chance of being hit, and enemies can't see up cliffs without a spotter. And being in cover like this actually makes it harder for you to get hit. So I mean, StarCraft had all these like little mechanics that some people probably didn't even know about. I think we're just down to one group of guys, so let's just do this. But anyway, StarCraft is... and I might have just said StarCraft 2. StarCraft 1 is one of the games in the book, 1001 Video Games You Must Play Before You Die. I wholeheartedly agree. This is definitely not only one of the great video games, greatest that have ever been made, I would argue, but there's so much to it. There's strategy games, there's plot, there's awesome balance between different races, there's base building if you kind of like SimCity and stuff, there's strategy and tactics. If you don't like any of that, you can go and play use map setting games, and you can play RPGs and stuff with your friends. You can play multiplayer, you can play competitive, you can play co-op. This game supported Battle.net back in the day. So it had matchmaking, and you could find randos to play against and just have fun killing them. You could sneak your way into comp stomps with newbies and then betray them the way I did and really screw them over. Or you could just be a newbie and go in and stomp a comp. There were all sorts of things you could do with this game. This is a game that had sort of endless possibilities, and I think even today it holds up. And as a testament to that, they re-released this game last year for free. That is a tremendous gift from Blizzard, and I think definitely makes it worth playing. There's no excuse not to play because it is free, but the fact that it's still being played competitively in Korea, in some parts of Korea, the fact that, in fact, I think so. I haven't 100% confirmed that, but I'm pretty sure it is. The fact that it's still, a totally playable game, despite the fact that StarCraft 2 exists, this game is still a hell of a lot of fun to get out there and play. So, yeah, I would say at the end of the day, StarCraft is just a game that is worth playing, worth having, all that jazz. But those are my thoughts on StarCraft here. What do you guys think? Do you agree with my assessment? Do you have your own opinions? Hopefully you agree that it is a good game, and what I would love to see in the comments are your own awesome StarCraft memories. It can be about times you played with friends, times you played online, unique custom maps you saw when you went into the use map settings on Battle.net. anything awesome about StarCraft, feel free to talk about in the comments. I would love to hear those kinds of things from you guys. And as always, whether you have enjoyed checking out StarCraft or not, by the way, it's awesome. These 3 guys are soloing a base. These guys are badass, man. We didn't even need an army on this level. We're just going in and wrecking stuff. We have not paid attention to our base, though, and it is in some trouble. But that's okay. You know, we got them, they got us. It's all fair. It's all fair. It's all fair in love and Protoss war. But anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. Make sure to like the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure to... Oh, Zeratul was killed. Make sure to share this video with all your StarCraft friends. And until next time, my friends, in Taro Adun and my life for Auir. And you all take care of yourselves. Peace. By the way, here are those carriers I was telling you about. I've built a Doom fleet of them. You'll notice my supply is over my limit. This is also a fun thing you could do in StarCraft, which is cheat. Whenever you wanted, you could go ahead and cheat. So here are the carriers. Oh my god, look at this. Like, how are the Zergs supposed to defend themselves against this? It's like a billion things on the screen. So I've gone ahead and cheated, given myself all the money, all the supply I wanted. These little scourges actually crash into my ships, and they can sort of wipe me out. You do have to build interceptors when they die. So it's like these little ships, you do have to pay for them, so everyone that gets destroyed costs you money. But yeah, like, that is a problem for the Zerg. Also, this is the final mission. Spoilers, I guess. And you are the Protoss. Here's my cheat base. I'm not harvesting anything, but for some reason I'm stinking rich. You also have some Terrans. Jim Raynor is allying against you. It's Protoss and Terran versus Zerg. And as you can see, remember those battleships we saw way back when? Well, I went ahead and built a Doom fleet of those two, so we can see these in action too. So if you're ever curious about what it looks like to have complete air supremacy, it looks like this. I even have a backup fleet of Protoss carriers here, and these ones are cloaked. So this one unit here is the Arbiter, and he has the power to cloak anything that's nearby. So if we go over here, we can actually cloak all of this, which seems way overpowered. So let's just go ahead and make sure we're building all of our interceptors. Here are the Terrans. They're coming in hardcore. There's an Ultralisk. Hey, we're getting to see all the things. He has no purpose in life at the moment because of all these air ships. Now we have the power to launch Yamato cannons. I didn't launch it in time. There's too much going on at the moment, actually. Let's see if we can Yamato cannon that Ultralisk there. So the Yamato cannon's like a mega cannon that kablam! Oh, it almost wiped him out. Poor guy. So yeah, we're just gonna fight our way to the Overmind. Again, we're cheating, but this is some of the fun of StarCraft, is sometimes just slamming in a couple of cheat codes and just wrecking the town. So, I just love seeing carriers like launch all their fighters. Like, look at that. That Ultralisk is just like, what is happening? Why did I decide to? There's the Overmind. Here we go. Here's how you do it. We're gonna Yamato cannon the Overmind. Kaboom! 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 Oh yeah, that thing's going down in no time. Meanwhile, the carriers are wrecking stuff, and we beat the last level. So, there you go. So if you're going to play StarCraft, just remember, if you want to have some fun, there's no shame in cheating. And, yeah. All right. Goodbye for real, guys. Hope you've enjoyed this look at StarCraft.